Hey, what's up, guys? It's Rich Smith Jr. here. I am here with another video, and this is going to be my first video covering a book review. So, like I said, I believe in my first video that I was going to be doing reviews of how to draw books. So, various how to draw books, books that I find personally very useful and that I recommend, and books that, even if I don't personally find them useful, I will still give you guys my knowledge, my opinion on them. So, now, every good artist knows, especially if you are a character artist, the human body is very complex, very intricate, and all that stuff. So, it's best to learn it from anatomy books. So you can do it. You can do, go find a medical journal or a medical book and learn anatomy that way, which is extremely difficult. My girlfriend, I actually looked through one of her anatomy books, and there's a lot of crap in there. But it is actually very useful. If you for anyone who has studied anatomy that way or who plans on it, all power to you. It's just something that I can do it. I just don't want to do it. But it is something to have, in your arsenal, in your inventory of books, your library, whatever. So, well, it is also best to have an anatomy book that an actual artist did. Here in mine, I have Anatomy: A Complete Guide for Artists by Joseph Shepard. Sorry, my glare from my lamp. As you can see right here, and it is a very great book to have. I've had this for a long time, and I've just now started to actually have an appreciation for it, starting to study it. Because when people say study anatomy, they actually mean study, take notes, draw over and over, commit to memory, things of that nature. So when you are studying your anatomy, that's what. So a book, not necessarily this book, but a book like this, an artist made book about on the topic of anatomy, is something you want to study, you want to draw, you want to research, all that good stuff. But yeah, I've had this since. Wow, this is actually I got this day after my birthday, November 7th, 2010. So I've had this for 7 years. God, I'm old. But anyway, like I said, I just now started to really like look through the stuff in here, and so yeah, 7 years ago I was definitely a different person. Now I'm more disciplined and more focused. But so this book breaks down the human body into different sections. It goes through how the proportions, how tall a male should be. That goes by head height. Anybody who's taken a life drawing class should know, like when you're counting the for the human figure, you want to do it by head height. So hold your pencil out all the way, and then you kind of like do like count the heads down. So actually, the first page is like that. So with the male and female figures. But this book is great. It breaks down the arms, in the sections. It breaks down the arms, the legs, the torso, the head, the hands, the feet, things like that. I actually, when I started this off, I had started with the legs, because legs have always been something that I have not had the greatest difficulty drawing, but the least amount of understanding. Like, when it comes to arms, I mean, arms too, but the legs are a little more complex, at least for me. I know the muscles, I've always noticed in comic book characters how, they have very strong leg muscles, and I try to draw those, and I don't know what I'm doing and where this goes there and whatever else. But, so this is from where I started. Sorry, I'm trying to get this lighting right. So this breaks down into the bones. So you have your bones, you have your some smaller muscle groups, larger muscle groups, and it just keeps building on top of it. So what I personally recommend, and this is actually what I did, I started off with a page of just drawing the bones, naming them. Then from another page, I drew the bones again. Then I drew these muscles on top, and then on another page, I drew the bones again. So I drew the bones, these muscles, and then these muscles, and you just keep going to that progression. I can actually show you from one of my sketchbooks that I did just that. I actually did several pages. This is my sketchbook. I call it Character Factory because it's for I had planned to just create just a crap load of characters in this notebook, but now it's just become me about studying anatomy, warming up. So I mean, it's nowhere near full. So it can definitely become a character notebook again. But yeah, so like I said, from my first page, I started off just drawing the bones. So drawing the bones, taking notes. My handwriting is a little chicken scratches, so I don't expect you to read any of this. Um, then from that page, went on to drawing the smaller muscle groups. So you got your adductor magnus, the gracilis, the pectineus. Some of these words are extremely difficult. I actually had to go to another YouTube page to learn how to pronounce these words. Now you don't have to learn every single muscle in the leg. You don't have to know every single muscle. It is let me rephrase. You don't have to memorize the names of every single muscle because some of these muscles actually have several names. It's freaking ridiculous. Anatomy is crazy. And my hat's off to any doctor, physical therapist, anybody who has to deal with anatomy on a medical level because yeah, I not that I couldn't do it, I just don't want to. But it's greatly important as an artist that you at least know what these muscles look like, where they are, and what they do. Because some muscles expand while others contract, and so I know this is a little off topic here, but I know with the arm. So when the arm is bent like this, your biceps are working because the biceps are they expanding or contracting? Jesus Christ! I know that the biceps are expanding. There we go. And your triceps are contracting. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Leave it in the comments if I'm wrong. I do know when one set of muscles are active, another set of muscles are inactive. It's just the way the human body balances itself. So back to the legs. So as far as knowing the exact terminology of the muscles is not, as an artist, it's not 100% a necessity. But knowing where they are, what they do, and the placement is. So like I said, when it comes down to actually studying, so as you see here, this is something you don't necessarily have to do. I personally recommend it. Like I said, this is my sketchbook, and I've done this. So writing it down, I've written some of these down multiple times just so I can commit it to memory better. And when you write something down, it actually helps stick in your mind a lot easier. Now you might have to kind of like think of like what was this, what was that. There's also a bunch of ways to help with that. I know word association is something that I personally use. I can use more of it, but word association definitely does help. So for something like let me see something, the patella. The patella is a kneecap. Now, the first time I heard patella used in a movie was in Sherlock Holmes with Robert Downey Jr. And it's the first scene where he punches the guy in the side of his leg. He's like, fist to patella, and ever since I've always associated patella. Okay, that's Sherlock Holmes, Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock Holmes punching the guy in the kneecap. It's very painful. I'm sure I don't want to be punched in my patella. I'd probably eat someone's face off for that. I mean, yeah. Anyhow. So like I said, with each page, I started off, you can't see it because I've erased a lot of it, but I started off drawing the bones. So this is the pelvis, the femur, and then you got your tibula and fibula. Did I say that right? I know I messed up one of those. So the tibula and the fibula. Yeah, I'm pretty sure those are right. Anyhow, but yeah, so I started once again drawing the bones, drawing the smaller muscle groups, drawing more muscle groups on top of each other because the human body is pretty much just layers of like muscle. It's really interesting once you start to like really like study this stuff. And then you can always keep it like make it simple, simplify it, because when you're drawing characters, you don't have to. It's very very tedious to draw every single little muscle. Now in comic books they do that, but they actually exaggerate. Excuse me, and they also don't show like the fibers of the muscle. That's ridiculous. But see here, so I went from what I learned in Anatomy: A Complete Guide for Artists by Joseph Shepard. So just the whole legs. Then a more simplified. Well, this is actually supposed to be with the skin over, but also still more simple, more comic book style approach. And this is even simpler than that. So I did this with just basic shapes, just to like just so it translates better. But that is it, guys. As far as like what I've also with just once again basic shape. Now this approach, I looked at a page on Pinterest, and it gave me some pretty good techniques. So even if you don't have an anatomy book just yet, if you have the internet, you have so much at your disposal. So Pinterest is a good site to go to. Type in anatomy, type in how to draw, all that good stuff. But anatomy is very, very important. It is your bread and butter when it comes to drawing the human figure. Even if you draw in a cartoon style, I personally suggest that you at least be knowledgeable of your anatomy. Um, because even something as simple as Mickey Mouse, this is something that I had learned in school. Mickey Mouse, the bean shape that seems like all those characters have, that's pretty much a very, 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 very simplified anatomy, where they have just, the major muscles, the chest, the abs, the hips, all that stuff is all in one. So I'm sure you guys have seen, the cartoons where they like flash a skeleton real quick. That's even though it's simple, everything still follows some type of law or principle when it comes to character design, art, all that good stuff. So once again, my book that I have in my library of how to draw, which is Joseph Shepard's Anatomy: A Complete Guide for Artists. I definitely recommend this book. It is, and actually, a lot of the wording when it gets down to, so this is actually his handwriting, I believe. And then it has the actually printed descriptions, so you're not guessing like, wait, what's that? What's this? But yeah, I've, like I said, had that for 7 years, and I'm just now starting to get appreciation for it. So even if I'm sure, even if you have like how to draw a book or an anatomy book in your library already, and you haven't, really looked at it, dust that bad boy off and peek through it. Like, at least go to one page and like try to like just draw. But when it comes to studying anatomy, you actually have to study anatomy. Learn at least learn at least the bones, the pelvis, the humerus. Well, the humerus is your arm, but the femur, the tibula, the fibula, the patella, all that good stuff. So I'm able to fire these off on the top of my head because I've spent like 10 pages drawing it over and over and over again. And repetition is key when it comes to doing stuff like this. So that's all I have for you guys. I wanted to make this a very short video. I didn't want to give you too much information. But as far as this book, I highly recommend it. And it's not even just this book. If you can find any book on anatomy that is by an artist, please pick it up off the shelves. I got this at Barnes & Nobles back in Pittsburgh, where I'm from. But please pick up off the shelves. At least thumb through it. See if you can comprehend it and it can be useful to you. I saw this and I was like, well, I mean, 7 years ago I may have gotten it for different reasons, but now that I am a mature, fully functional adult, mostly, I can have a better appreciation for it and see it as this is something that is necessary for my education. So that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you for watching my video. Please check out my other videos. I don't have a whole lot, but I'm growing, But I'll see you guys in the next video, and keep drawing, guys, and study your anatomy.